Hello, my name is Chris Palmer, and in today's image optimization video, I would like to discuss some Google image SEO tips that can certainly help achieve higher rankings and more traffic from your Google images. So let's not waste any time. I have a ton of tips that I would like to share with you. So let's start with the very first one. This is a common question that I receive that pertains to image quality. So image quality a lot of the times is pertain to the lighting, the way it looks, the aspect ratio, is that bouquet effect in the background, right? That's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about image SEO quality. What I'm talking about is the compression, right? The digital compression. I'm talking a PNG is a lot larger than, say, a JPEG 2000 or a JPEG XR, which Page Insights definitely recommends that you use these new generational compression tactics. So the very first one is image quality. Again, we're talking about the size of the image. Size of image affects speed. Speed is a guaranteed ranking factor. So the higher the compression, the smaller you can make the image without losing quality, as in the aspect of how it looks. That's the way to go. So that's tip number one. Image quality equals high compression. Now let's talk about the text around an image, all right? So just like with organic rankings, all right, if we're talking about doing some on-page and ranking a page, we'll put our target key phrase within the URL and within the title. So let's say that our target key phrase is football. So in the URL, football, in the title, football, in the H1, football, but all the text is about baseballs. This isn't going to sit well with Google. So just like with images, the text around an image that's within the body of content, that's within the heading tags, it needs to match the image. So tip number two is text around the image. Now let's move into alt text. So the alt text is not the title attribute, but it's another way to add a keyword in. More so, it's a way to add maybe misspellings, or you can use a variation. Say you're ranking for baseball, you could say baseballs, you could just put ball, you could just put a misspelling, or if you're looking at your competition, but your content is already written, image alt is a great way to get other keywords that you need on your page on your page. Remember, everything that's in the source code is crawled. So image alt. Make sure you're using your variations, your misspellings. Look at the SERP, see who's ranking. This is a great place to add keywords, all right? So keywords in alt attributes is next. Now I want to talk about, this is a 2-for-1 tip. Freshness and watching and tracking the SERP. Now when I'm talking about the search engine results page, we're really referring to the image SERP for this video. So once you have an image that's ranking, or you want to rank an image, you want to make sure that you're consistently keeping up with what Google is showing in the first positions. 1, 2, 3, that first row in images search on a desktop, you want to make sure your image is there. So freshness of image gets a boost. Also, if Google is actually showing and giving more praise to a particular type of image. Maybe people are adding text to an image and these are ranking and rising to the top. Maybe they're taking text away. Maybe they're showing 2 bats. If we're going for bats, you look at all the images in the first position, there's 2 bats in them. Make sure your picture has 2 bats. Remember, Google's using AI now. They're not sitting and manually doing anything. It's a computer. They're looking at emotion. They're looking at what's in the image. They're looking at the writing in the image. So, keeping an eye on the traffic. Are you getting traffic? Is it going up? Is it going down? If it's going down, see who took your spot, match, mimic, improve, and then you'll win. So that next one is freshness of image and watch the rankings, just like we went over there. So the next one that I want to talk about is just like when we're looking at images on a page, or keywords on a page, if we're looking at organic rankings, all right? Generally, of course, we want to start with our URL title, H1, but then when we start looking at our text, all right, within an HTML document. We want to make sure that our keyword is in the top 100, 200 words. We want to make sure we get our target key phrase and some variations in those first couple hundred words. So the same is for images. It's exactly the same. So images that you want to rank, if you are concerned with your image rankings, getting traffic from images, if you have a priority on image search, make sure that you're getting your images up towards the top of the page. You want them to be seen, you want them to be crawled, you want them to show dominance. Just like internal linking. Links that are at the top of the page are viewed as higher quality. They're more important. So put importance on particular images that you want to rank. Put them at the top. So image placement is definitely my next tip. So I want to talk about, the next one is really talks more about quality of the images, but not really quality as in compression or quality of, like we talked about aperture and, that bokeh effect. What's the crispness? Is the quality? Is the lighting right? Not that type of quality. What I'm talking about is using your own images. So use your own images. Unique, right? Now, it doesn't have to be crazy, and I'm not saying that unique is a ranking factor, but unique images that aren't duplicated over the web seem to rank better for queries, at least any of the SERPs that I've been in. For instance, in the SEO space, we take a look at a particular, his I don't want to say his name just in case it's, trademarked or whatever, but it's BD. He has a very popular blog, right? B. Dean, right? In any case, all he's doing is taking screenshots. He'll have a hero image at the top, right? Generally something quality, but the rest, there could be 50, 60 images that are just screenshots. But to Google, these are not only relevant, generally there's text within the images, and they are unique. They're something that he took. So use your own images, make sure they're unique. I was just giving you an example. They don't have to be crazy quality. This gentleman is taking screenshots, adding text to them, putting borders on them, and ranking. This is just one example. Let's move down the list. We've talked about compression before. Compression equals quality. I wanted to just talk about that one more time. Remember, JPEG 2000, JPEG XR, these are the new compression formats that you should be using, all right? These were just recommendations. I think I saw them in PageSpeed's Insights. It gets pictures down to like 200 kilobytes. I mean, it gets them small, all right? I was taking massive images, shrinking them right down. So if you have the opportunity, there are free tools. Remember, JPEG 2000, JPEG XR, there's free tools. You can compress them. There's even plugins if you're using WordPress. Whatever the case is, make sure you're getting your pictures compressed. So I'll write that just so you know for future reference. JPEG 2000, JPEG XR. All right, so those are the two that I've used, at least. I know there's other ones. Image title. Now, this is another great way to get more keywords on the page. Remember, Google is reading everything. If it's in the source code, now they're going to render it and read the render DOM. But the title and the alt attribute are certainly going to add more words on page, right? Now, the title is going to allow more clicks. Now, I feel that there's a correlation between CTR and clicks on images, just like there is with organic rankings, but it's something that I'm testing. So I just want to note, titling your images is definitely going to allow, at least on page, a few more clicks. All right, so title your images. All right, now let's move down the list. Schema. Now, there's a couple ways you can inject schema. We know that we can inject schema in PHP within the image, but I'm talking about literally on your page. When you're setting up, if you're using WordPress, it's very easy to add. It's also very easy to add to just a static HTML web page, but make sure, mark up your images. If you have an image about a baseball, you have the date, the time, the width, the length, mark it up, make it very easy for Google to understand. If you want to rank your images on Google, Make it easier for Google to do that for you. Add schema. Take the time now so you can benefit later. All right, so image, schema. Very, very important, especially moving into 2021. Schema is key to help Google rank your site. Just do it. Nike says that, I think. Moving down the list, so this is going to be the last one. Now, this is not necessary, but it's definitely just a tip. I thought I'd add it in. Now, I want to give you a caveat, and the tip is this: a image sitemap. I was doing a consulting call the other morning. This gentleman had zero idea. He knew about the pages and the posts because he has a WordPress site, but he did not know that you could submit a video sitemap and also an image sitemap. Now, I let him know, and he had some images that he wanted to get traffic from. It's very particular, and this is the tip I want to give you. An image sitemap is a good idea, but not for every single image. If you have a prominent image, all right, you have it at the top of the page, you followed these rules here at least, right? These are images you want to rank, you want to get traffic from. You SEO these images. Make a sitemap and only add the most important images that you want to rank to that image sitemap, and you'll definitely see results. So my name is Chris Palmer. If you have any other questions related to Google image optimization as a whole, SEO tips on anything, image optimization, optimizing web pages, WordPress, Facebook, really anything at all, always feel free to go ahead and ask in the comments below, and I most certainly look forward to seeing you in the next image optimization SEO tips video. Have a wonderful day.